Today we're taking a look at these NFL matches, which are happening on Sunday, December 12, 2021, and giving you match breakdowns, betting tips and predictions in general on these games. Welcome back to High Stakes, let's get straight into it. Also, don't forget to subscribe to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos, and if you would like more betting tips and predictions, then check out our Patreon in the link down below. Our new Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. 5 plans are available for each and every one of you. You can get 30 extra betting picks all the way up to 270 extra betting picks per month. Stop wasting hours of your time searching for bad betting advice that ends up costing you a lot of money. Join the High Stakes Patreon now and get the best betting picks and advice. Las Vegas Raiders vs Kansas City Chiefs. The Raiders were miserable on third down, going 1 for 9. Derek Carr was the game's leading rush threat for the Raiders, generating 18 yards on the ground. The Raiders' offense is generally more productive than they were against the Chiefs, scoring 23 points per game and having the second best passing attack in the league measured by yards per contest at 305. The Vegas defense is surprisingly good against a deep passing game, yielding just 6.6 yards per pass attempt, good enough for 4th in the NFL. These are must-win games for the Raiders, who are in the wild card picture. They have only won 3 out of their last 7 games, but lost by just 1 point last week against one of the hottest teams in the league right now in the Washington football team. Las Vegas won in Dallas by a 36-33 score 2 weeks ago. Our first betting advice is to pick Las Vegas Raiders plus 10. The KC defense has rebounded after struggling in a big way in the first few months of the season. They have allowed 17 or fewer points in 5 straight clashes. The pass defense is 24th, while the rush defense stands at 20th. The Chiefs are averaging 25.3 points, good for 13th in the NFL. They are conceding an average of 21.6 points, landing them 8th overall. The Las Vegas defense played well last week, but has not been able to contain higher scoring foes for the most part. The good news is they are effective against the pass, ranking 13th in the league in pass defense. The rush defense is an issue, tabbing 26th overall. The Raiders are averaging 22.8 points, placing them 17th in the NFL. They are allowing an average of 26 points, landing them at 25th overall. Our second betting advice is to pick over 48.5. Jacksonville Jaguars vs Tennessee Titans. Jacksonville's defense is struggling as well. The Jaguars are 29th in the NFL in points allowed at 26.7 per game. Jacksonville is allowing an average of 116.8 yards rushing and 248.2 yards passing, for a total of 365.1 yards, which is 23rd in the NFL. The Jaguars are 21st against the rush and 19th against the pass. Myles Jack is the leading tackler for Jacksonville with 82, while Josh Allen is the leader in quarterback sacks with 5.5. 5 players have each intercepted 1 pass for the Jaguars. After losing to one of the worst teams in the NFL, Houston, and being blown out by New England, the Titans had a long bye week and have to be anxious to get back to winning. One positive from the New England loss was that the Titans could run the ball effectively, and I expect to see the carryover against the Jags, who have allowed at least 127 yards rushing in each of the last 4 games. Tennessee's defense is 23rd in the NFL in points allowed, with an average of 24.2 per game. The Titans are 17th in the NFL in total yardage allowed at 354.1 per game. The Titans allow an average of 97.8 yards rushing and 256.2 yards passing per game. The stats leaders for Tennessee's defense are David Long Jr. with a team-high 66 tackles, Harold Landry III with 10.0 quarterback sacks, and Kevin Byard with 5 interceptions. Our first betting advice is to pick Tennessee Titans minus 8.5. The Jaguars aren't a very good team, but the Titans still need quarterback Ryan Tannehill to play better. After getting off to a solid start this season, Tannehill threw 4 interceptions against Houston and followed that performance up with a season-low 93 passing yards against New England. Good news on the injury front, as Julio Jones could finally be back in action after being on the IR due to a hamstring injury. The Titans are 12th in the NFL, scoring 25.3 ppg, 5th with 140.7 rushing yards, and 23rd with 213.4 passing yards. The defense is 23rd, allowing their opponents to score 23.2 ppg. They are also 6th, holding teams to 97.8 rushing yards per game, but 26th, allowing 256.2 passing yards per game. Our second betting advice is to pick under 43.5. Quick reminder, BetUS is a platform that offers betting on all major sport and horse racing leagues. It has slots, table games, blackjack, and a variety of other casino games. All of the major US leagues are available for betting, including the NFL, NBA, NHL, MLB, and PGA. In addition, BetUS allows wagers on esports, Olympic events, soccer, cricket, boxing, cycling, and many more competitions. Join BetUS now using our link down below and get 125% cashback bonus on your first deposit on the sportsbook after you open an account and deposit using our link and use our promo code HIGHSTAKES. Baltimore Ravens vs Cleveland Browns. It was an extraordinarily risky move by Harbaugh, a move that would have been heralded if it succeeded. Harbaugh pointed to the play of his injury-depleted secondary, a list that now includes star Marlon Humphrey, who left in the second half, with an issue Harbaugh did not disclose, as the main reason to avoid overtime. Patrick McCarry left in the second half with a hand injury and did not return. They'll try and get back on track in this rematch with Cleveland. Lamar Jackson played the worst game of his NFL career and still beat the Cleveland Browns a couple of weeks ago. Imagine the confidence that'll come after still managing to find triumph after a nightmarish performance like that one. The Browns' defense came up with 4 interceptions, and it still wasn't enough for Baker Mayfield and the offense to muster more than 10 points. I wouldn't wager on Sunday's game being much better with wideout Jarvis Landry once again popping up on the injury list. He could still suit up and play in this game, but at this point, it's hard to count on his production after a shaky season. Baker Mayfield threw a 20-yard touchdown pass to David Njoku late in the third quarter, but Cleveland didn't score again. This was a far cry from December when these teams played one of the most exciting games of the 2020 NFL season, a 47-42 Ravens victory in Cleveland. Cleveland Jack Conklin, who returned from an elbow injury for this game, hurt his knee in the first quarter. He will be out for the remainder of the season. Njoku will miss this game due to COVID-19 protocols. Our first betting advice is to pick Baltimore Ravens, +3. Atlanta Falcons vs Carolina Panthers. Calvin Ridley has been out since early November due to personal reasons, and he does not have a timetable to return. Kyle Pitts has not scored a receiving TD in 7 games. He only has 1 receiving TD this season. The defense has been poor for Atlanta this season. The Falcons' defense is allowing 27.7 points per game and 1.3 sacks per game. They rank 31st in points allowed per game and last in sacks per game. Atlanta ranks 18th in passing yards allowed per game and 25th in total yards allowed per game. The Falcons couldn't move the ball against this Panthers defense in their home building when these two teams last met in October. And they won't have any better luck at Bank of America Stadium, with the Panthers desperately trying to avoid a third straight loss. Say what you want about Cam Newton, but those players on that roster have a lot of respect for him. They respect him for all of the things he's done for that city and organization. So they'll come out and fight for him on Sunday. Our first betting advice is to pick Carolina Panthers, -2.5, but the Panthers still do have a couple of solid receiving options with DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson. Cam will need to use them both, as well as his legs to move the chains against a struggling Falcons defense. The latter might actually be the better option considering how effective they were moving the ball on the ground against the Falcons in the first meeting between these two teams. Carolina's defense will keep them in the game as long Newton and company don't go on another turnover spree and put them in bad field position. The Falcons haven't looked as stuck in the mud offensively all season as they do right now. Our second betting advice is to pick under 42.